Listen to me yap about how my eggs were paper thin for over a year and what actually made them strong again. So for like a year, I was dealing with the thinnest shells you've ever seen. Like, I'd go collect them and they'd literally sometimes have already cracked from just bumping into another egg. I'm sure y'all seen that. And everyone in my groups was like, add more oyster shells, switch to higher calcium feed. Well, yeah, I did all of that, like religiously actually. I had oyster shell out 24/7 and I switched feed twice. The shells were still paper thin every single morning. And honestly, it was so frustrating because I'm doing everything everyone else is telling me to do and nothing is changing. I'm losing eggs every week because they're cracking even before I can collect them. I even stopped giving them to my friends and neighbors because I was so embarrassed they'd break in the carton. And I'm thinking, am I just a bad chicken keeper? Or is this just what chicken keeping is? Because nobody in my groups had an actual answer that worked. And then someone actually explained it to me and I was like, oh, because it's literally so obvious when you hear it. So basically, calcium has to pass through the gut wall to get into the shell, right? That's how shells are made. The chicken eats the calcium and it gets absorbed through the gut lining and goes into making a hard shell. But if parasites are sitting on that gut lining, stealing all that calcium, it goes in one end and right out the other. She's eating it every day, but her body isn't absorbing any of it. It's like pouring water in a bucket with a hole in it. So think about it, right? I was adding more and more oyster shell, thinking she needs more calcium. But the calcium was never really the problem. She was getting plenty of that. The problem was parasites sitting on the gut wall, blocking it from even getting through. In the summer, parasites are the most active in the soil when your girls are out there pecking at the ground the whole day. They get a load of them, and those parasites attach to the gut lining and physically block the calcium from being absorbed. So it doesn't really matter how much oyster shell you put out. If the gut can't absorb it, the shells stay thin. So the girl who explained this to me, she said, what you need to do is sort out the gut because that's where everything's going wrong. She said she'd been having the same exact issues when she started out chicken keeping until she found out this chili mix in one of her Facebook groups. And I'm thinking, chili in the summer? That's crazy. Turns out though, the chickens can't taste the spice, so it doesn't affect them. And apparently one of the ingredients in this makes the gut somewhere parasites do not want to be. Honestly, I started expecting nothing because I'd already tried everything else, right? But literally within like 2 weeks, the shells just started getting harder, like noticeably harder. I picked up an egg one morning. I went to crack it for breakfast and actually had to tap it several times properly to get it to crack. And I was standing there like, what? And the one thing that gets me is I spent a whole year adding more calcium and switching feeds and losing eggs in the nesting box. And all I actually needed to do was support the gut. So 1 scoop every morning, just like that. That's it. Like, I was making it so much harder than it needed to be. Apparently, a vet checked the formula as well, so you know it's not just some random herbs all thrown together, no chemicals or anything. So you get to keep every single egg, and I love that part. No throwing away perfectly good eggs. And they do some kind of a 90-day guarantee thing too, so there's no risk. I'll drop the link below. Watch them go for it.